I was like, ooh, like, kind of want to hurt someone. Like, you kind of want to punch someone.
You know what really makes us mad? Is wasting money on CDs with only one or two good songs.
Yeah. Tell them about punk.
What's up, posers? Welcome to Funk Blotto Pod. I'm your co-host, Justin Hensley.
And I am your other co-host, Dylan Hensley.
And today we are joined by the creator, I say today, actually tonight, we are joined by the creator of the Doesnt.com, Steve Doesnt. Steve, how are you? How's it going?
Well, not bad. How are you guys?
Yeah, pretty good. We have a rare night recording.
Yeah, West Coast time, sorry.
Yeah, we got 3 different time zones right here.
Yeah.
Steve, why don't you tell people about your very unique website?
Okay. Well, I spend a lot of time, too much time actually, on Bandcamp.com. And okay, I'll give you a quick explanation. Bandcamp, as you're probably aware, is a website, and it has.
What's a website?
It has a website. They have a website, and they have like thousands and thousands of new releases every day from all over the world. So the majority of it is awful.
It really is.
Really, really, really bad. I mean, like everyone and their mom's dog is putting out music on Bandcamp now, so it's a crapshoot at the best of times, but. I spend a lot of time on there, and I do find some really great bands that aren't really on anyone's radar. So I started making lists of them all the albums I liked and stuff, and did that for a while, and then, just to keep track of it for myself. And then I started doing a monthly top 5 and putting it on a blog, and it's become somewhat popular among online punk rock music nerds like myself. So yeah
I was looking at your site, like I was looking at like all the categories you have on here, and my favorite little bit was the section that's called the scrap heap, where you list everything you listen to in a month typically.
Everything worth mentioning. It's not even a fraction of what I actually listen to, but yeah.
Yeah, you're not counting the stuff where you get like 10 seconds into it and go, no.
Oh yeah, like I'm getting really good at like identifying terrible music just by the album cover. Like I can tell right away if it's not even worth clicking on,
Yeah. Or you can look at the country too. Sometimes, like art paired with the country is usually going to give you an idea of what it's going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm getting really good at like predicting exactly what I'm about to hear. But yeah, I'm pretty much just trying to turn people onto some underground bands that they otherwise wouldn't have known about, and I'm trying to expose some of those bands as well to that deserve to be heard. And it's all punk and punk adjacent genres. So yeah.
Yeah, we used to do a similar thing where we would go to Bandcamp and go to like the newly released section and like the punk section, and then just like sample everything.
Yeah.
It's so time consuming, but
mm-hmm. I mean, well, thank you for doing the work for us.
That's kind of the idea, is that like, if you want to be exposed to as much of like that really like underground up and coming bands as possible, you have to dig and dig and dig on the internet. Like it's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of obsessed with it. I have like musical FOMO, I guess. Like I'm just like constantly digging, and fortunately I have like an office job with a computer where I can do a lot of it like in my downtime at work and stuff. So but yeah, hopefully my blog is a good resource for people that are really trying to find like, the next punk band that they're going to fall in love with or whatever.
Yeah, so your side is definitely a kindred spirit of this show and blogs we've run in the past, where we just listen to things that no one had even heard of and talking about it.
For sure. Yeah, no, I've been listening to the show. Like I've heard, I don't know, quite a few episodes now, and I'm like, yeah, this is right up my alley. It's so cool. So, yeah, it's great to be on.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you on. And I guess we'll jump into the actual show. So,
sure.
This is the show where, using a number generator and the Rate Your Music punk charts, we choose one album and one EP at random to discuss. And this week, our albums are from the year 1994.
Welcome to paradise. 1, 2, 3, 4, who's punk? What's the score? 'Cause I'm a 21st century digital boy. Capsized, condemned to size. Gotta keep them separated.
So, as usual, we like to take a look at other albums that came out in the same year. So, we take a look at the Rate Your Music charts for that year, and what's on here that anybody is what's jumping out at you, I guess is how I should word that.
Well, my immediate reaction is that
Awesome.
the top 10 here is wrong in that they squeezed out For Your Own Special Sweetheart by Jawbox. And also they put 24-Hour Revenge Therapy by Jawbreaker at 10.
I was gonna say I know at least one of you guys is a huge Jawbox fan based on the intro music you guys got.
Yeah, we definitely both love Jawbox a lot. There's a very odd one in the middle of this there's a couple weird ones in this that it's just like, what is this? Why is Thinking Fellers Union Local 282 number 5 on here?
I know. And what else? What else was in the top? Well, it's not there anymore. Man or Astro Man, I think, was up near the top for a while.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
There's what is that one? Number 9, Jero GG.
No idea. I didn't even listen to that one.
It's harsh noise. Ugh.
Yeah, like all the ones that said like anything metalcore or like harsh noise or grindcore, I just didn't even listen to it.
Yeah, that's how we are with this show too.
And we're gonna talk about some hardcore and some noise rock.
I guess that is it's a little different.
Yeah, it's definitely not typical. That's for sure. At least not the noise rock one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Generally, 1994. There's some great stuff here. Yank Crime by Jehu. If you're an Unwound fan, New Plastic Ideas is probably it's one of the better ones from what I've encountered.
Yeah.
Diary by Sunny Day Real Estate. Again, that's a big record.
Yeah. I mean, it just keeps going and going. I was up to like page 15 at one point, and I'm like, there's still albums that I'm just like, yes, that's cool. You know?
Like, my favorite thing to do is to go to the last page and be like, what's on here? What do I know? Yeah. And there's usually one.
Yeah.
So if I do that now, there's a Meteors album on there.
Oh.
And Peter and the Test Tube Babies. Like, there's.
Oh, really? I didn't go that far, but yeah, that's cool. Like, yeah, if I saw Peter and the Test Tube Babies, I'd be like, cool, that's awesome.
Yeah, 94. It's a strong year. I guess the most important. There's some important records, actually. Diary's important. Number 8 is Green Day's Dookie.
For me, I looked at this and I'm like, I already knew, like, this is the year of the albums. It's the Jawbreaker album.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Sunny Day Real Estate album. It's debatably the Jawbox album, and the Green Day album, but the NoFX album.
Which one?
Punk and Drawbreak.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's the NoFX album. You know, like it seemed like a lot of the important punk bands of the 80s and 90s really were hitting their stride, right?
Yeah.
Like right in 94 or around that time, like maybe 92 to like 96.
Yeah, I'd say that's the Offspring album. Like, as far as like legit Offspring records, you know. people have their take on that band, but I don't think people were like, Smash is bad, you know?
No, I mean, it was huge. It was huge at the time. I mean,
yeah.
94 was the year, like, right before I got into punk. I discovered punk the following year when Kill the Musicians by Screeching Weasel came out and changed my life. But in 94, I was listening to Dookie. I was listening to Offspring. Both of them a lot, actually. Everyone was. But I didn't know it was punk. I just thought they were like another alternative rock band.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when I became aware of like punk as a genre. It probably would be a little bit later because I was just listening to the radio. So yeah.
Green I was listening to lots of like Beck and Nirvana and stuff like that, and definitely lots of Green Day. But I had no idea what punk was. I just thought they were like alternative bands.
Yeah. And according to Rate Your Music, they're all alternative bands. So. Page 2 has some interesting stuff as well. Not quite as many. Well, Samiam's Clumsy's on there.
Yeah.
Signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Link.
Yeah.
Are you guys into that Link album at all?
I'm unfamiliar with it.
It rated fairly high. I think number 12. It's like, I mean, I would put it above Jehu for post-hardcore anyway. Like, it's exactly what I want from a post-hardcore band in the 90s. Like, I would probably put it above Yank Crime. Just personally, that's probably
I'm familiar with this band. Really, I don't know this band.
They're from Washington State, I think, maybe Olympia. Like it's a pretty highly acclaimed album in some circles, I would say. Like definitely in like that first wave post-hardcore type crowd, I guess. And
they were on. What label put that record out?
K
Records.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not familiar with that label either.
I'm really vaguely familiar with Link. I've heard the name, but I'm sure that I've heard them, but I haven't really dived in. That's one that slipped by me, but
we'll definitely have to give that a listen to get an idea.
For sure, that's a good one.
Yeah. Is there anything else? That Avail record, Dixie, that's one of the strong Avail records.
And that's one of the two that you might say is the Avail record, I think.
Yeah, that or maybe Over the James.
This was on Lookout, I think.
Yeah, one of the early ones.
Yeah. It was a big year for Lookout Records too. I'm kind of like a huge Lookout Records nerd, so 94 was a huge year for them because this is the year that Green Day breaks into the mainstream. So sales for the first two releases, which were still on Lookout at the time, just skyrocketed. And like, you know, this tiny little label run by some punks in an apartment in San Francisco suddenly handling like millions of dollars, you know, like every kid, because Dookie was like hysteria, like everyone was crazy about that album. All the kids all over the world are going to HMV or whatever and going to the Green Day section and trying to see like, oh, what else did they put out? And the only thing that there was Kerplunk and 39 Smooth. So all of a sudden, Lookout Records is just inundated with like orders for these two albums, and they had to like ramp up their whole operation like tenfold, like overnight. And then of course, like Green Day jumps ship, you know, not much longer. They lose the records, they lose the rights to the records. Everybody else starts jumping ship. It's like, yeah.
It's no wonder they kind of fell apart, but I mean, they held it together for a while.
I think it was. Oh, when did they start?
Probably, when did they break down? Like when they shut down finally.
Oh, I think they made it like the early 2000, like 2001 or 2002.
Yeah.
But definitely 94 was probably like right in the peak of their rise, right?
Yeah.
And then they kept going on an upward trajectory for a few more years, and then it was just downhill from there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So like in 2005, like basically everyone rescinded their master rights. From
Yeah.
the label. So like Green Day did it, and then immediately like Avail and Blatz and Operation Ivy and Screeching Weasel and the Riverdales and everyone was just like, no, we're gonna take our records back too.
I remember reading an MRR like years and years ago. It was probably like 97 or 98, and George Tabb, who was a columnist there, he wrote this huge expose on Lookout Records and told the whole story of what, like, everybody jumping ship on Lookouts and Larry Livermore's a dick and like all this stuff. And that was probably like the nail in the coffin. I think that was like 98, or not the nail in the coffin, but like the beginning of the end, and that everybody started losing respect for them and whatever. But hugely influential and important label.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, unless there's anything we specifically want to talk about on these charts, we can get into our album.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, one more thing.
Yeah.
Somewhere way, way down on the list, I think it was like page 5 or 6. I don't know. I couldn't find it when I looked for it today, but there's a Argentinian band called Flemma, who is absolutely legendary in Argentina. And I only know this because I talked to a guy that was in a band in Argentina not long ago, and he told me all about, they're like gods in Argentina. So they put out an album that year called El Exceso, and it's really cool, like Spanish punk rock, like sort of Ramones core, but definitely different. So yeah, that deserves a mention, I think.
Nice. That's really cool. Cool. Well, so for this episode, we got number 75 on the album charts, and it is Madball, Set It Off.
You wake up every morning in this living hell. Not know your worst enemy is me. You never know what can happen within this cell. Betrayal's what I feel, revenge is what I seek. No hesitation or turning back. I gotta do it, I have no choice. Gotta do what I gotta do for the crew. Down by law. When you think I can't forgive my so-called brother, I can't let my feelings get in the way. Why you turn your back on the crew? You always had your back. We died for you. Ready on your board. Something you never knew. Now this life is over and yours is too. Yeah, my lord, we made a promise to each other.
And some basic information out of the way first. Madball are from New York City, formed in 1980.
New York City, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Formed in 1988. This was released on Roadrunner Records, which is
Crazy.
weird, in 94.
Yeah.
Right? It's their first full-length album after releasing a few EPs, and the personnel on this record is Freddie Madball. I am not going to attempt to pronounce his actual last name. Christian?
It's just Freddie. I don't know.
Cricien. Christian?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, he's on vocals. Vinny Stigma and Matt Henderson on guitars. Hoya Roke on bass and Will Shelpler on drums. Those names should sound familiar to anyone who listened to our Agnostic Front episode.
Yeah.
Because pretty much all of them were in Agnostic Front in 1994.
I think Madball kind of was because Freddie is Roger's little brother, right?
Yeah.
From Agnostic Front, and I think from what I've heard, it was kind of like hey kid, like start your own band and here, like use my band and our songs, and they were like almost like an Agnostic Front cover band at first.
Yeah.
It was just like his little brother doing Agnostic Front songs.
They started Madball when he was like 12.
Yeah.
So I guess it was just like, all right, let's just play.
They're like, let's give the kids something to do, because like I think he was like on tour with them all the time and stuff, just hanging around and stuff. So
Yeah, and the album was recorded by Jamie Locke at Brown Sound. I guess that's of interest to some of you. So, whenever I sent you the list of albums we had to talk about, you said without hesitation, Madball.
Actually, it was because of the Melt Banana, but yeah. I also figured Madball be a lot of fun to talk about.
Well, then, to borrow your one of your Twitter phrases you use all the time, in our, what is it, modest opinion? Is that how you word it?
The most inferior opinion. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. What did you think of this record?
Well, I would definitely rather listen to the Agnostic Front, like the early stuff anyways. Like, I didn't get to punk rock through metal the way a lot of people do. I've never really liked metal at all, so I don't really like the crossover metalcore or like metallic hardcore stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a hardcore purist, and I like the 80s. I like the early 80s stuff, but I don't outright hate this. It's not quite metallic enough for me to totally write it off, but unfortunately there aren't a lot of other redeeming qualities. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. I don't know where you guys stand on that.
Dylan, what do you think?
Well, there's a reason I don't listen to Madball.
Because you're not 16.
And I think there's a reason I never got into Madball, and really hardly any of the like New York City hardcore bands. If I'm choosing between Agnostic Front and Madball, I guess I'll go with Madball.
Oh, really? Wow.
Vocally, they're less ridiculous.
less like Johnny Rotten-y.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did the Hard Times guy describe?
Well, they
Roger's
just said
vocals?
who even knows what he's doing?
Yeah, it's just like this.
Yeah. Which one of us should do an impression of the opening line of the album?
Oh,
what did he say?
What does he say? Oh,
we don't fake it. We just take it.
We don't fake it. We just take it.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Oh man,
it's like the most New York, like, we don't fake it, like.
Yeah.
So
it's just hardcore. Like Madball to me,
it's full on 90s hardcore. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
New York
the ultimate
City.
generic New York 90s hardcore.
Absolutely.
Like, there's nothing there.
No. Like, there were a couple songs I found myself like bobbing my head to for a minute, and I'm like, and then I like remember that it sucks, and then I'm like, oh, like, wait, does this suck? Maybe it doesn't suck. I'm pretty sure it sucks.
Nothing like better. You want to eat anything. Nothing like brotherhood. We love you the same. Singing you won't waste the winner from day one. Just like you look me right in the long run. The longer you in the band.
I would say it turns out that I didn't really know what Madball sounded like before I listened to this. I had a rough idea, and I knew they were like a New York hardcore band, so I literally never ever gave them a chance, just because that is not my scene at all.
The only New York hardcore band I can truly say that I really like is Reagan Youth, and they don't sound anything like any of the other New York hardcore bands. So
right, like there are some New York bands that stand out for me. Like, I like Youth of Today and Gorilla Biscuits, but I don't like Cro-Mags. You know?
Yeah, no. I read Harley Flanagan's book, and yeah, no. don't recommend it.
See, and listening to this record, I get the same feeling that I got from Agnostic Front and like SSD. Is like, listening to it, I just assume that they're bad people.
I mean, they are inner city punks. Like, this is pretty much, you have to think about it in that way. Like, this is all they know. The Lower East Side was no joke back then. So these guys grew up literally in the gutter from what I've read about the scene back then. So, it's like the gangster rap of punk.
I'd rather listen to gangster rap than New York hardcore, though.
For sure. I for sure went through my gangster rap phase, but these guys definitely do borrow a lot. Like, I don't know if they're trying to borrow from like the gangster elements of hip hop or like the mafia type vibe or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're definitely like trying to be thugs, like,
there's definitely like a street tough, like, there's a machismo that I just as a beta cuck soy boy over here, this is it's too scary for me.
yeah
Well, the parts
when I was like, I think when I was like 16, 17 years old, I probably would have loved, like, at least the content wise, the lyrics, I would have been like, yeah, because I was definitely like all in on gangster rap at one point. So it's kind of like, it would have appealed to me in that regard, but like the metallic side of it, I can't take it. I don't like it.
You're here for the gun cocking noises.
Yeah.
The siren.
The intro is the best part of the album for sure. Like the siren.
I thought the best part of the album was when he just yells Madball really loudly.
Oh yeah, you're listening to a good band when they shout themselves out in their own song, like Madball,
Every day, everywhere I look, they say another life has been taken away. It makes my stomach turn, but living here, you gotta learn, get used to it. It's reality. Stay aware, up close, I'm with you. Find your business, do what you gotta do. Don't look in trouble. Don't die, don't find you end. What can you do? What can I do?
But I have to say,
you have to imagine like other bands doing that, like The Promise Ring, like in the middle of a song or something.
I have to say though, I have that song singled out as one of the better songs on the record. So like, it was the most appropriate time for them to scream Madball. It was a pretty good song. It had some good grooves. It had some good fast parts. Like,
yeah, I liked the intro with the sirens, and I liked the very last song, Friend or Foe, which is an agnostic front cover.
Yeah.
And then Down by Law was another one that I didn't like, just totally dislike. So
I want to ask you, Down by Law, is it new metal?
The band or this song?
The song.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Please don't say it's new metal, because then I have to like retract that whole statement. We got to edit this whole show.
Well, we got yelled out by Damian Moyle from As Friends Rust for calling that last EP new metal. So,
oh really?
I wouldn't call it new metal, but there's definitely some rapping on there.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I would definitely
the verse is a rap for sure.
I would definitely say new metal definitely borrowed from this whole thing that was happening with the crossover hardcore stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, you hear a little bit of like Limp Bizkit in there or something. It's like, it's definitely like, I don't know if these guys wanted that to happen, but
it's in the lineage.
It happened. Yeah.
Well,
that song, like, listening to it, like, it's not even a bad song. I'm not even trying to completely discredit it. Like, it sounded like Bring the Noise, like the Public Enemy.
Oh yeah,
Anthrax crossover.
Oh man,
I would rather listen to Terminator X sing rap over this whole record, though.
Yeah,
I did notice. I don't know, Dylan, if you heard this as well. I noticed a little bit of the Face Down Records sound. I guess the Face Down Records sound kind of came from this. I got some serious like X-Disciple X vibes. And that's just because that's my like point of entry for like hardcore, like straight up regular hardcore, is through the Christian hardcore scene. But I was like, oh, that's who they were sounding like. Because for the longest time, I never could figure out what they were doing, like who they were sounding like. But I didn't realize it's just New York hardcore at the time.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
And Disciples specifically, I mean, they were an eerie band.
Yeah, not
so
too
they
far.
would have drawn heavily from like Earth Crisis.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I think there's even some overlap between Earth Crisis and Madball.
I mean, this is a hugely influential album for this genre for sure. Like, like real fucking 90s, especially New York hardcore heads, they go bananas for this album. This is again the Madball album, right?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Madball and Hatebreed are forever tied in my head as like a branch of hardcore that I want nothing to do with. And like this album cover, and then maybe like the Hold It Down album cover, those like stand out in my head.
Oh, did you see the insert on the rest of the album cover?
No.
Not that it's like totally hilarious or anything, but there's a pretty cool picture of them like all posted up in an alley, and they've got a dog, and I think it's like a bulldog or a Rottweiler. And it looks to me like it's wearing a Boston Bruins jersey, which is really weird, right? Because didn't New York and Boston hardcore bands like hate each other?
They did,
or was that over with by this time? I don't know. Maybe it was like a peace offering or something. I don't know, but I swear this dog is wearing a Boston Bruins jersey. So
I bet in the 80s somebody would have got killed over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that picture here.
I want to probably is. Yeah. Well, maybe they're equating Boston with dogs.
maybe there's a deeper. These are pretty deep. These guys are pretty deep, so that could be what it is. Yeah.
We can't tag Madball in this one.
Yeah, please don't.
We are gonna get screamed at on the internet.
Yeah.
Who yelled? Oh yeah, we got yelled at by SSD Control's lead singer's wife.
SSD, man, like they have to expect that.
Until the day that he's gone, passed away. His life was taken, the blink of an eye. All I can ask myself is why. Chose this life, harder than you. It's not surrender. He knows what to do. It's how he wants. It's how he wanted to. Chose this life, chose off in you. Like that.
So I was looking at, I pulled the charts for Make Your Music specifically for hardcore for 94.
Hardcore in 94.
There's very little hardcore that sounds like this. I mean, Madball really did stand out in this year. Because, I mean, Sick of It All. I mean, that's the closest thing I see. Biohazard.
Yeah, this is definitely like the beginning of, well, I mean, the whole crossover thing started earlier than that, but I think this was just taking it to a higher production level, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was on Roadrunner, which is weird. I guess I should look and see what Roadrunner was putting out in 94, but I have a feeling it wasn't a lot like this. There's a Strife record that's kind of close to this, but not really. Let's see if I can pull up Roadrunner real quick. I can keep talking while I do that.
Yeah, and overall, I don't like it. It's just the very first note I have about this record is this isn't my shit. Like, it's just not like when I want hardcore, it's not what I want. Like there's just not.
No, I definitely don't mind 90s hardcore, but yeah, it's not the 90s hardcore I want.
I guess out of all three of us, I liked it more. I guess I didn't really say how I felt about this record. I didn't mind it. I don't know. I think it's an okay to decent like record. More than any other New York record we've covered in the past, like or any other tough guy record we've covered in the past, maybe.
Well, there's no homophobia on this album.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. That puts them ahead of the pack a little bit, at least, because I went through the lyrics and I didn't see any. There's a lot of anti-police and anti-law stuff, which I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, who can't?
So
who can't relate to that?
so like, it's not all bad. I don't hate it,
Did they get in trouble for that kind of stuff later? I know, like Slapshot got in trouble for it
with homophobia and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a scene.
I mean,
that,
everybody did, because things were so much different back then, right? So
right.
Everybody was saying, gangster. You can write off like every gangster rap album of the '90s, So, but
yeah.
I mean, fun fact. Speaking of gangster rap, "Set It Off" is also a song by Tupac and a movie starring Queen Latifah.
And a Civ record, right?
So I don't know, but was it? Could be.
No, I set your goals. Never mind.
Yeah.
I got the wrong set.
Yeah, but yeah, Set It Off. I don't know who borrowed it from who or where it came from first, or if it was just a New York thing that everybody was saying. But
everyone was just walking around, set it off.
Yes, it's like how people say "send it" now, like "send it."
Yeah, I pulled up their Roadrunner records in 1994, and I don't see. There's like a Nail Bomb record and like a Life of Agony record.
Weird.
But nothing like strictly hardcore. There's Frontline Assembly. That's more thrash though. Yeah, Sepultura. Yeah. So this was, I guess, early foray into hardcore. Because doesn't Hatebreed sign with Roadrunner later too?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Probably in the
it's definitely like the metalcore community definitely glommed onto Madball. Like, this is ours, and also it almost came more of their thing than a punk thing.
Yeah.
Justin, you said you watched some live footage of Madball.
Oh.
Well, you sent me some live footage of Melt Banana playing in '96, and it made me curious to see what Madball looked like in '94. And I found like 2 or 3 videos of them playing in New York City. And how did I say it to you? I don't want to be at one of these shows.
No.
Yeah. Unless you're standing at the very back with your back against the wall, like.
It wasn't a crazy crowd. Like, it didn't look like there were any fights or anything like that happening. But at the same time, I was like, I don't like this energy. There's something going on here that I'm not comfortable with.
And even when I was listening to it, before you said it, like, listening to the record, I was like, ooh, like, kind of want to hurt someone. Like, you kind of want to punch someone when you're listening to Madball. It's like, I don't know where that feeling came from, but
yeah,
I don't like that.
It's great. It's like either you punch somebody or you like go and do like 50 bench presses or something. Like
yeah, I wonder if this would be good workout music.
This would be great for just like
for sure, yeah,
menial labor for hours on end. Just the Madball discography.
Yeah. Oh man, I wouldn't want to get in your way on the way home though.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, it's great driving music too.
Yeah, like a 3-hour road trip with like your parents or something. Yeah, it's perfect.
I guess we could talk about like the actual sound, like how the music sounded. To me, the biggest like standout was the guitars. But not for a good reason. They have this weird like canned effect, or like if the sound is echoing off something. Like say like someone put the amp like facing the corner of a room and then recorded that instead of just open air. I don't know. It just sounded weird. I don't know how that effect happened with the budget they supposedly had, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't like. At least it's all in the lower register, and there's none of that like higher note like metal riffage.
Mm-hmm.
It's all like pretty down low, which saved it for me. Because if it had like those like high note metal riffs, this would have been like a 0 for me for sure.
Which is funny because like Agnostic Front at this time was doing a little bit more.
They did. Oh well, yeah. I don't know. Even back in the '80s, they did for sure.
Yeah.
They
the one
did
we
a lot of
was...
like suicidal tendencies, like a high riff stuff, which I don't mind sometimes, but it just the way it's applied in metalcore, I don't know, not for me.
Yeah.
Overall, the sound was fine. I mean, there's not enough really great riffs though. And I found myself really preferring the faster stuff. Mm-hmm. All of the songs where they were more up tempo, and they almost reminded me of like Indecision, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, Indecision's another New York band that I actually enjoy. There are some. Yeah, the slower ones were like, ugh, let's get this over with. It just was too slow. I don't know how you could get pumped up to some of these songs.
There was one song, I think it was called Never Had It, which was like under a minute long, which I thought was pretty cool. I wish I wish more hardcore bands had songs. I wish more of this vein of hardcore had songs that were under a minute, because I feel like they're more effective when it's just like play riff A 4 times, play riff B 4 times, maybe riff C 4 times, and then you're done. Just like keep it really limited. And I don't know, I think coming back around to some of the riffs, you're hearing them the second time, you're like, well, it's not great.
Yeah, it's not better the second time.
Like,
yeah.
So
well, what should we rate this album? I'll go first. I give it a 3.25. I thought it was better than mediocre, but not much more. Not in the way that I would come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably never listen to this record ever again. Well, except for when I'm pulling samples for the episode to edit. But after that, I'm done with Madball.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dylan?
I think I'm gonna give it a 3. I think my initial reaction was more like 2.75, but thinking about it and talking about it, I'll give it a 3. Just kind of right down the middle. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's easy to clown on it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it's lots of fun to clown on it, but it's not terrible. You know, it's not you don't. I don't hate it. You know, I enjoyed parts of it. I'd give it a 3, maybe 2.75 to 3. It's you know, I guess a 3, because I'm not completely neutral. There is a little bit of me that says like, yeah, I kind of like it. So yeah. Let's go with the 3.
Cool. Well, we will move on to our previously mentioned EP. It is number 14 on the EP charts. It is Melt Banana and their EP Hedgehog. Melt Banana are from Tokyo, Japan. They formed in 1991. This was released on Charnel Music, which is a San Francisco record label. This is the debut release by Melt Banana. The personnel on this record is Yasuko Onuki on vocals, Ichiru Agata on guitars, Rika Hamamoto on bass, and Sudo Toshiaki on drums. I hope I got those close.
Sounded about right.
Yeah. Recorded by KK Null, who is a noise musician from Jeva, and he's collaborated with like Merzbow and Earth, John Zorn, Steve Albini, Jim O'Rourke from Sonic Youth, and so like lots of noise musicians, and that makes sense.
That's cool.
This is I read this on a review. I don't know how 100% accurate this is, but apparently Melt Banana called their EPs Hedgehogs, and this is Hedgehog number 1. I guess that's accurate because they did name like 2 different compilations, like 13 Hedgehogs, and so I'm assuming that's actually what they called them. But okay, now this is the band you had no hesitation to talk about. So what did you think of this?
This is like more of like a 2-song EP with 3 interludes.
Yeah, it is.
But that being said, you know, I love Melt Banana. I'm like all in on Melt Banana. I love these guys. I think you have to respect, first of all, I mean, I know it's insane. The way it sounds is absolutely insane. And like the first time, like the first Melt Banana album I heard was Cellscape, and I had that song, Shield Your Eyes. And it's like the song you have to like, when you play it for your friends, you have to like caution people before listening to it. Like, yo, get ready for your brain to explode right now, because this is just insane. But I think you have to respect, first of all, the skill, but also the nerve they had to be like this insane. And like, I mean, no one else could ever make this music besides Melt Banana. They are alone in their own genre, and that's not easy to do. And just the energy of it, it's exciting. I like bands that challenge you as the listener, but still give you just enough rhythm that it's not like, oh, this is no longer music.
My thought on Melt Banana has always been, I feel like everyone's introduction to Melt Banana is almost identical, I think. Like, I feel like most people have that one friend who's like, you gotta hear this crazy thing.
Yeah, I was that guy for sure. Yeah,
it's your troll friend.
Yeah,
who knows you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe they don't even really get it themselves.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I don't get it. But that's part of the reason why I love it. Like, it's just too crazy, right?
Dylan, what do you think of this? We have a history with Melt Banana.
I knew fully what to expect from it. I listened to it immediately after Madball, and I was pretty happy to hear Melt Banana.
Yeah, Madball sounded like pussies after this.
It was, by the end of the Madball record, I was like, I'm done with this. And then they just are like slamming their hands into a bass, and there's just someone making like meep Roadrunner sounds. Like,
but he's doing all of that with his guitar. Like, there's no like synthesizers or anything. It's just him fucking around with pedals and like his cabinet and stuff, and just like,
it was described on the Wikipedia article I read as like, his guitars are often described as laser sounds. And I was like, oh, it is. It's like those toy guns you buy at like the dollar store where it has like a cycle of sound effects and it never repeats it back, in a row. It just loops all the way around.
Yeah.
It has the bomb noise, and you're like, guns don't make that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ichiro's guitar is very fascinating.
It's amazing.
He's one of those people that makes playing effects pedals like actually valid as a guitar player instead of a crutch.
Absolutely.
I was really curious. I was reading a little bit about them. John Peel talked about them as being like one of the most incredible bands he's ever seen. Like one of the best performances whenever they did their Peel sessions. Oh. And I was like, that's interesting. So that's what prompted me to look up some live footage of them, and they're really, really tight.
Insane.
Like,
right?
As much as this sounds like a bunch of noise that they made up in the studio, like on the spot, like they can play these songs live.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and that just shows you how much time this guy spent. Like, not to put all the attention on the guitar because the vocals I think are just as incredible.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how much time this guy spent, like, just obsessing over his instrument and all the weird stuff that he could do with it. And then not only that, but like recreating it over and over again on stage. Like, that's just incredible to me.
Yeah, because like Yasuko, the vocalist, she kind of does the same thing on like, she has like 3 different vocal approaches, and that's pretty much what you get on a majority of the songs. Like there's like the yippy like short bursts of yelps, and then there's like the faster, more like a string of words going on. And then later, like there's a little bit more approach to a melody on like some of the later stuff, like the beyond 2000s stuff.
I haven't even listened to that, but yeah, like when I first heard them, I thought her voice was like digitized or something. Like I thought it was going through like a weird synth thing or something, and I wasn't sure if it was English either. I thought it might be Japanese, but obviously it's English. Like when you look up the lyrics, it's English. Have you read any of the lyrics?
No, actually, I have not. I assumed they were singing in English, primarily because that just happens a lot with a lot of international like artists just sing in English. I guess because there's a wider audience that way, but
yeah, the ones that get big overseas for sure, like that they're probably mostly English, and these guys were huge in all over Europe and America. But the lyrics, I have a sample of some of the lyrics actually from track 3, Mind Thief. So these are the lyrics: dry that blood. Dry that blood, dig that heart, slice that head. It's in the cage, it's in the cage, it's in the cage, it's all yours. Dead meat, you're my dead meat. So not exactly a ray of sunshine from this girl. Like, she's just a tiny little thing, like, and she goes crazy on stage. Like, this is one of the bands I'm totally bummed that I've never seen live. Like watching videos of them, live footage and stuff on YouTube, it just like brings a tear to my eye. Like it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I would easily go see them live if that was an option. Do they still play? I know they put out an album in 2013, and they kind of got rid of everyone in the band except for the 2 of them.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably doing like the odd show at like a European punk festival or something.
Yeah. They do some festivals. They did tour the US at least a couple of years ago. Because I saw some footage, I think of them in like Phoenix from like 2017 or something. So
I'm pretty sure they were in Chapel Hill at some point.
Yeah. But they are strictly the 2-piece live now. The whole rhythm section is just programmed.
Oh, it's just 2 of them
backing tracks. So
yeah, no, I wouldn't want to see.
A little less exciting.
I don't know. I don't think I'd want to see them now. But like in 1994, hell yeah, I like.
Yeah,
they're one of the bands. They're probably like my top 10 bands that I'd travel back in time for. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I see 2 shows in 2020 scheduled, both in February. They look like they're One's like a special anniversary show, and the other one just looks like a regular show. So I don't know. They could be a thing like that plays pretty regularly, but I don't know what touring is like in Japan. Apparently, it is more expensive to tour in Japan for them to come to the United States and tour. I read that. I don't know why that would be.
I wonder if they just make more money. Like, I wonder if they just have better turnouts.
Yeah, it's probably just way bigger venues, probably. But I can see people in North America just like turning up in huge numbers for this stuff. Like if they I don't know about a 2-piece because it sounds like they're a 2-piece now. So, but if they were like the original lineup, I would 100% I would be there, and I know a lot of people would be.
Yeah, I guess it's Americans with their fascination with like weird Japanese stuff. Like, so like, you know, people love when Japan sends us all their crazy stuff. I wonder how much of Japan makes weird stuff purposefully to be exported and not for like its own people. It's just like, all right, let's send some weirdos over there and see what how they do.
The thing is, though, Melt Banana, they are punks. Like, I mean, they dress the part, at least as far as the footage I've seen, and I think they're genuinely like influenced by the Melvins and Sonic Youth and plenty of like American hardcore bands, and so there's a fair bit of cultural exchange, I think, going on with their sound.
I think they're totally punk. Like, obviously, sonically, they're on their own tangent. It's hard to pin down onto any genre, really. But I like the craziness, the boldness, the defiance, the stupidity of having 3 songs on an EP that add up to like not even a full minute. You know, weird stuff like that. Anything that makes most people go, "What the hell is this?" I probably like it. Like, it challenges people. It makes people uncomfortable. I mean, that's punk rock. That's it.
Right? I mean, they cite the Sex Pistols as influences, and they covered Neat, 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 you know, by the Damned. So, like,
oh, they're cool.
I would love to hear that, actually.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I just read that on their page because I was looking for their like influences.
Oh, yeah, I think I have heard that. Yeah,
they covered Toots and the Maytals.
That's awesome.
What?
That's awesome.
They covered Monkey Man by Toots and the Maytals. That's crazy.
Gosh. That's what that is?
They covered Blondie, Devo.
Wow.
Yeah, so they know their shit.
Yeah. They met in college, so, you know.
They got the name Banana, or they got the word Banana from the Velvet Underground
really?
record that they were specifically referencing.
So is this like an attack on them then? It's just like, I'm going to melt that Velvet Underground banana?
Weird.
I don't know where the melt part comes from.
Yeah.
It definitely melts your brain when you listen.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's a stupid name, but it's a cool name. Like, I would 100% wear a t-shirt that says Melt Banana.
Well, and it works, too. Like, it's a silly short name, but I don't know, it sounds good. Melt Banana sounds like a name. Like, sounds, you know.
Delicious.
Put it over some ice cream.
What is the melting point of banana?
I have no idea. Well, let's see. I'm going to check my notes to make sure I didn't leave anything out here. It doesn't look like it. What would, unless you have anything you want to add, what would you rate it? Dylan, you go first.
So as much as I praised them, I'm still going to give it a 3. Not enough songs. And it's
6 songs.
And of the maybe 2 actual songs on here, there's really only one that like I liked. I do have my limits for how much Melt Banana, and apparently it's 1 song at a time.
2 songs is too much.
I respect what they're doing, and it's one of those things. It's kind of like it's kind of the thing with a lot of really experimental music is that it's maybe more interesting to see it performed.
Mm-hmm.
than it is to necessarily listen to the record. At least for me, I totally recognize it as being like, this is just not my thing, but I do respect what they do a great deal. I think rhythmically they're really entertaining. You talked about her voice sounding like it being processed by a synthesizer, and it's just like, it's just her. Like it sounds like a sample, and someone's just like mashing a button.
Yeah,
and it's just playing the same little phrase, but it's her hitting that same phrase and inflection and repeatedly, and it's really impressive.
I guess I guess she does sound like it's a preset on a keyboard that you're just like hitting like in a row. It does kind of
go to hell.
Yeah. There's like a slight like overlap to the way, I don't know how she does that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they piece that together in studio or what, but yeah.
Well, from what I've seen live, it's like they pretty much replicate all that on stage. From what I've seen, yeah.
I'm gonna give it. I think I've always had a higher tolerance for Melt Banana than you, Dylan, but I'll give it a 3.75. I would probably give it a higher rating if there were like more like fully fleshed out songs, like the little blippy little just like less than a minute, less than 30 second sound clips that they have don't quite do it for me, but the full songs on here I have a fun time listening to, so yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I don't know, I really like it. Like, it's just, I get the whole like this would be way better live type of thing, but to me, like, I kind of just like maybe not accurately, but I kind of envision them like in the studio just like coming up with this crazy ass shit, and then like I also envision them like on stage, and then you put it all together on a little EP, and this is like early for them, and they're starting out, and there's just like these little short songs, and it's only 2 songs really that you're getting, but like those 2 songs in my mind are just like, as a huge Melt Banana fan, this being the really early stuff, and I'm such a sucker for early stuff, I'd give it a 4.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, next week we are going all the way back to 1981, and we are going to be talking about Echo and the Bunnymen, Heaven Up Here. Very excited to talk about that. And our EP for that episode is going to be Government Issues, Legless Bull. So that's a pretty stacked episode right there. Steve, thanks a lot for doing the show.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's so cool. I hope you keep going with it.
Well, thank you. Where can we follow you online? Like, where's the site and all that stuff?
The website is thedoesntsuck.com, and you can catch me on there. Email me, write me letters. I really want people to just write me funny letters, and nobody ever does. But because I'll post them. If you write me a funny letter, I'll post it and I'll reply to it. But anyway, I'm most active on Twitter. Steve Doesnt is the Twitter handle, and
A+ Twitter. Your Twitter page is crazy good. There's like, how many, you get 10,000 followers or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, I just keep following everybody. Everybody that I like, and they just keep following back, and I don't know, people really responded to it, and we have a lot of fun talking about really random punk rock type stuff on Twitter. So yeah, follow me, and we'll join the conversation and have fun.
You frequently pose questions that I don't think I've replied to very many, but there are more than I have replied to that I have spent like all day thinking about. So
yeah, it's not really fair.
If you're a music nerd at all, it's a great Twitter to follow, and it's really fun stuff.
Well, thank you for saying so.
Yeah, and continue to follow us on all forms of social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at punklautopod. We have an email address. It's punklautopod@gmail.com. We have a voicemail, which you can call and leave us messages at, and that is 202-688-PUNK. That's 202-688-7865. So call us and leave us a voicemail. let us know we suck, or tell us what you think Madball is the best, and where you want to meet us to beat us up.
Call us, scream Madball into the phone, hang up.
Madball.
And our website's punklaudapod.simplecast.fm. And that'll do it for this week.
Madballs, gross for one, gross for all.